Yes, the market is finally waking up to the fake Fed pivot, to the fake bear market rally, to the fake new bull market, which I've been getting trolled all the time. I faced many critics on Twitter, back and forth, and my personal group and my Patreon. Many people quit because people were saying, "What do you mean? The market keeps going up. How can the market go back down? It will never go back down." And people were telling me Carvana is a good stock. It's undervalued. That's why it's going up. But this was just basically a fake bear market rally to again sucker in more retail investors so big hedge funds can dump their positions. All right, and this is what's happening today. Finally, after Powell spoke in Jackson Hole meeting, and he said, there's more pain ahead as the Fed brings down inflation. He's saying there's basically no Fed pivot anytime soon, which the market mistook. And I actually talk about this, why stocks will go down faster than they went up. I'm not claiming I was the only one that did, but I know many people that actually just gave up on the bear market thesis, and they started kind of trolling other people. Many retail investors FOMOed in the rally because they were for fear of missing out. They were saying 4,600, 5,000, or even 6,000. Some people were saying. But again, we can clearly see today that this is not happening, and it's not going to happen. And I'm going to explain why in my video. But again, I'm happy that our thesis has been working out since pretty much mid of 2021, and me and the people in my group were actually prepared for this. We're still holding a cash position. We're still holding a short position on Apple and many other type of stocks, which have been doing amazingly well as of today and a little bit yesterday. So the whole thing was the Federal Reserve, really. It's not really going to pivot if inflation is still high. And what most people are not understanding, before, the reason why the Fed was able to get away with 0% interest rates and QE was because we had low inflation. And I don't believe the Fed is going to repeat this mistake anytime soon. So the stocks could actually crash on a Fed pivot. Now you may say, how can stocks go down if the Fed actually pivot? Well, because the scenario that's going to cause the Fed to pivot is going to be so bad for earnings and for the economy that it's not going to even matter. Historically, and even in 2008, whenever the Fed pivoted, stocks kept going down. Why? Because the environment was very, very bad for earnings. Now the Fed needs a very good reason to actually pivot and then go back to 0% or even do QE. It's not going to be like, what happened before. Inflation goes to 5% and then we do QE. I don't believe they're going to repeat this mistake unless they are forced to repeat this mistake. And the environment that's going to force them is going to be very, very bad for the economy and for stocks. And again, I am a believer of data, and I believe that the yield curve is right, which inverted in April, and normally it really lags. So I would personally believe that this whole recession, the real crash, the real kind of scenario should be all over by at least the first or second quarter of 2023 maximum. This has been my thesis from the beginning, mainly from the yield curve and a couple of other data. And I'm sticking to this thesis. As the economy is not getting better, as I've been saying, it's getting worse. And eventually stocks and earnings will follow. We can see what happened with Nordstrom. They have Nordstrom Rack. And Nordstrom Rack is kind of a lower priced items for people. And people were even cutting on that because they can't even afford the lower priced items. And this is going to go to car manufacturers. They're not going to be able to afford expensive cars or kind of cars. They're going to compromise. And then it's going to go to airlines, which they're going to get unemployed. And this is when the real recession is going to happen. It's not going to happen easy. But again, I'm still sticking to my thesis. And the second reason why I believe that we're not going to have a new bull run or another 10 year of, 1,000% gain or something, mainly because I have not seen any major bull market starts if the Fed was actually tightening. Always, whenever the Fed does QT, which is going to start pretty much in September and is gonna put it on autopilot and let it run. Every time the Fed does QT, so market struggles to make a new high and struggles to make this new bull run. Whenever we have bull run, we need to have a stimulative type of environment where the Fed has zero rates and is doing QE. But now the Fed is doing the exact opposite. So why would I personally believe that we are in for a new bull run if we're at 4,600 or if 4,300 or even 5,000